Hello everybody, I just jumped into a worldwake sealed release event, 4 round. I'll start by sorting my rarity, and I see some nice cards. City and Fireheart's nice if I'm going to be strong in red. Stoneforge Mystic, what's my equipment situation? Adventuring gear. So, and Boomerang, which I don't think I would run, at least not in main. It's okay out of a sideboard sometimes, but so Mystic doesn't look that good. Let's go back to rarity. So I saw some other juicy cards. So Royal Elemental, as much as like it's got a bad rap in this format because of the 2 toughness, I guess, and it's semi-easy to deal with, but it's still a very powerful effect, and especially in sealed, it's quite a powerful effect. And I've got a Goliath Sphinx to go with it. So, and this is a very, I think in sealed, this is great. In triple worldwake draft, it's a bomb because other than Iona's Judgment, there's just nothing that kills it. But there's zendikar, so there are other cards to deal with it, but it's still an awesome card. There's 7 toughness is huge, so there are a lot less spells to deal with it. So I also have a Lava Claw Reaches if I'm black-red, and Bloodchief Ascension probably won't be in the deck. It's runnable. I've run it before, but I hope not to. I hope not to have a style of deck where it's going to be good. So I'm going to start with my blue. Mysteries of the Deep, Whiplash Trap is good. Summer's Bane is good and sealed. Windrider Eel, this is a good start. This is a great pool for blue. So Tide Force Elemental, Calcite Snapper is a card that's great in a blue deck. Trade Winds into the Royal, more qualities bounce. Merfolk is great if I'm going to pairing with white. There's Welcome Turn, and an ally, another ally. These are more supporting allies. I don't see any growing allies in blue. Spell Contortion it's a card I'd like to try out in sealed. I'm unsure of how good it is. And there's an Enclave Elite, which is also decent. Because blue doesn't have access to that many potentially bigger creatures. So it looks like blue is got to make the deck. I'm going to continue looking around. I've got white, I got Arrow Volley Trap and Refraction Trap. Those are good traps. 2 Apex Hawks, which is a card I really like. I've got that Mystic. I could do worse than fetching and adventuring gear, but it's definitely not the great. But it's still okay to have a 1/2 for 2 that trades with a lot of cards in this format. More defensive creatures. If I'm looks like I'm playing blue, so defensive creatures are decent. I definitely prefer the Shield Mate to the Zendikar against an unknown deck. And then there's the Griffin. Because like the Zendikar, in order for it to block, starting on turn, it can't block on turn 3 because you're tapped out, and turn 4 you gotta keep mana open, which is not necessarily so good. It's more against like later game green creatures, and it doesn't even block some of those. Okay, so white looks decent. I've got the 2 nice traps and some more evasion creatures and defensive. So white looks pretty decent. I see black. I see a nice Casualties to start. Caustic Crawler is an awesome card, but it doesn't look very deep after that. Giant Scorpion, Crypt Ripper. I'm definitely not going to be black enough for Crypt Ripper or Mind Sludge. So black. These 2 cards are great, but beyond that, no removal other than the Casualties and no depth. So I'll put black back for now. Red looks a little bit better. I've got a Burst Lightning. I've got Tuk Tuk Scrapper, which I think is an awesome card, even without ally support. If red is in your main colors, this card is great. There's a lot of artifacts that could use removing. Plated Geopede's great. Punishing Fire. There's a Rift, which in sealed is, since sealed is slower than draft, it becomes a lot more playable. Blade Tusk Boar. Gore-Tex Thrash is a card I've been impressed with in the right. It's a little less impressive when a lot of your creatures fly, though. So if I'm pairing with blue, it probably doesn't make the cut. Skitter of Lizards is a card that's good if I'm heavy red. So I've got the Obsidian Fireheart there too. It's going to be a little bit hard to run with a Royal Elemental. Ooh, that a Spark Mage? Yeah, that's a Spark Mage. So Spark Mage is pretty awesome also. And a Crusher Zendikar, which is playable. These cards I don't think are playable. So red looks pretty deep. So blue-white or blue-red. I'm just taking a quick glance at green. I can see that it's just not going to compete with my other colors. So it looks like it's going to be blue, some combination of blue, red, and white here. Now, if I'm blue-red, I can't really splash white because I would like to play Fireheart and Royal Elemental. Calcite Snapper. It would be it's awkward enough just to play blue-red. And black. I'm looking for black splash since I have the Jwar Isle Refuge as well, but I don't think that's going to work out because I don't have any splashable black cards. I have my two strong black cards are not splashable, really. All right. So let's think about what the best build is. So I don't have anything to help out a white splash. Well, the white splash would be what? It would be Refraction Trap and maybe a Skyfisher anyway. So I don't think a white splash is necessarily needed if I'm playing red. Now the question is, do I want to play blue-red or blue-white? A red splash could be better. Maybe, I guess these three, maybe even a Rift if it seems I need removal. So blue-white splashing red is an option, or blue-red with no splash is the other option. So I'll take a look at both those builds. So I'm going to start looking at the blue-red. Actually, I'll put the white ones there. And let's see, I'm at 27 cards, so I'm at too many cards already. Now, let's look at the less exciting cards. So I do have a Spreading Seas that could go with an Enclave Elite. I just don't think that this deck really wants to play a Spreading Seas because it's not like I'm short on solid playables here. So my first reaction is to probably cut the Elite. Now, one of the problems with blue-red, so there's two problems with blue-red. One is I've got some awkward mana going on here because I've got Royal Elemental and Obsidian Fireheart, and Calcite Snapper as well. So I can't really curve Calcite Snapper into Obsidian Fireheart into Royal Elemental. That's okay. These are all cards that are decent late game. I prefer Calcite Snapper to come out on turn 3 though, if I have it in my hand. I do have some help from Pilgrim's Eye, but other than that, no. And Quicksand definitely is not runnable in a blue-red deck. Now, the other thing is that some of these cards are not needed if I'm pairing red with blue. So one of them is Gore-Tex Thrash. That would get the cut because I'm not winning on the ground. It's possible sideboard if they have flyers too, but yeah. So Skitter of Lizards also gets a little bit awkward here because I want to be heavy blue. This is tough. I think it's tough to be pairing the blue with the red. The other thing is that my red cards are sort of more aggressive. Like Geopede wants me to be aggressive. I do have some cards that can be aggressive, like Turn in blue. That like Turn and Eel could be aggressive, but for the most part, I look like I want to get to the late game between Snapper, Tide Force Elemental, Counterspell if I want to run that, Bounce, and my late game